In this video, we're going to show you how to connect to your SQL Server using Omnata's native app for Snowflake. You'll need to install the Omnata Sync Engine native app and the SQL Server plugin from the Snowflake marketplace. Omnata supports multiple connection methods to your SQL Server, whether that's cloud or on-premise. The first option is Private Link, and this is available for AWS and Azure, and it requires Snowflake Business Critical Edition. You need to have a matching cloud provider, so AWS to AWS, and the same for Azure. This creates a private tunnel between Snowflake and your cloud VPC. The second option is to use our embedded ngrok tunnel. Now, this is available for all clouds, including on-premise data, and it's for all Snowflake editions. So if you don't have business critical and private link isn't an option, then the Omnata-ngrok tunnel is a good fallback option. Finally, if you can make your database publicly accessible, you can connect directly to your SQL Server. We're not going to cover this today or private link. We're just going to show the Omnata-ngrok tunnel as a connection method. To ensure a secure connection to your SQL Server, we use ngrok to create secure tunnels from Snowflake to your network. You'll also need to install an ngrok networking agent. You can do this during the configuration workflow. Everything else is provisioned on the back end by the Omnata native app. If you want to learn more about how we use ngrok, you can watch this video. Once you've followed the initial app onboarding, you want to go to the Sync Engine, go to Connections, and click Create Your First Connection. Click to select the SQL Server plugin that you've already installed. First, you name your connection, and then in the drop-down box, you want to select username and password with an ngrok tunnel. This workflow is going to create an external access integration. We provide the code snippets for you to run as an account admin. Copy the code and flip over to a worksheet and paste the code. Some of the code snippets will contain multiple queries, so just make sure you run all of these. The Sync Engine will check that you've run the code properly and then let you go through to the next step. This step can take a few minutes while we initialize the tunnel on the back end. Next, you want to copy the ngrok tunnel command that we provide, and then go to the folder where you've downloaded the ngrok agent and run the agent. This networking agent is installed in your network, and it establishes a reverse SSH tunnel to the ngrok endpoint. Paste the commands into the window. Make sure you change the command to reflect your environment. In this example, we're simply using port 1433. This invokes the agent, and then we can go back to the Sync native app and click the check button. This step will take a minute or so to complete while we establish that inner TLS tunnel through the outer tunnel that we've already configured. This step will also acquire the SQL Server TLS certificate. Enter your SQL Server username and password. And a note that these credentials are all stored securely inside your Snowflake account using Snowflake secrets, and they're not readable to anyone. Only the native app has been granted access to them. Finally, we click Connect, and it'll complete that connection. At the end of this workflow, we've created two tunnels, an outer tunnel through the ngrok network and an inner tunnel all the way from Snowflake to your SQL Server. This double-layered tunnel ensures that no data is visible to any external services. Now that the connection is set up, you can use the functions that we ship with the SQL Server plugin app, or you can configure a sync using the Omnata Sync Engine.